Hi. Okay, I'm still testing my sound here to see if it's okay, and then we can start. So if you hear a feedback, don't be... Yes, Moses Male, how are you? Betty Mugalu, how are you? Aisha Katende, how are you? Basoga Sara, Oliotia. Hi. Okay, I hope we are good. We see, just seeing my sound here. Sound yangu very okay. Let me know there. I'm still testing my sound here to see if it's okay, and then we can start. Okay, I think I have two sounds going on. So if you hear a feedback, don't click. Okay. Yes, Moses Mare, how are you? Betty Mugalu, how are you? Aisha Katende, how are you? Basoga Sara, Oliotia. Hi. Okay, hope we are good. Demba James Sophie Kaduna be at Haire. See, just seeing my sound here. But sound here may be okay. Let me know that. Mumbeja Mayanja Jebali Sevo MC Neteke. Okay. Yes, Moses Mane, how are you? Betty Mugalu, how are you? Aisha Katende, how are you? Basoga Sara. I think Achaweli okay. It should be fine now, right? Okay. Hope we are good. Demba James Sophie Kaduna be at Haire. Just seeing my sound here. Chili one. No, the sound is yandemo kutereza. But one day jaterera. Jakuterera. The video is sorted. Sound tugenda gitereza temufayo. All right, but I think now the sound is okay. All right, let me see. Nazwa wa alaikum salam. Still echoey. Really? Okay. We need change. Thank you for sharing. Chaguke, thank you for sharing. Betty, thanks for sharing. Sami, Samuel Kibbs, thanks for sharing. Salam Babu, thanks for sharing. Umbeja wa Bobby, thank you for sharing. Okay. Ya Chaguke, Claire, Sissy Michelle, Greenville. Etelede, Suna, thank you very much. Mbeja, okay. Etuse. Two speakers. Okay, can you guys muwulira eri wansi, because last time nakola video wano and the sound was really low nga njiwuliriza ku simu, so I want to know if at all it is still low. Is it still low? Kuba empuliriza wano ku simu yange eri quite high, but I want to know if at all we muba muwuliriza ku simu yamwe, is it still low? So that one I want to know as well, but we shall see. So you can just let me know. And yeah, clear, very clear. No, oba uliza kusimu eri okay, right? Okay, oba uliza kusimu eri fine, then that's good. Let me just see here. Umbeja wa Bobby, thank you for sharing. Still low. Is it still? Okay, good. So now the good thing is that my sound eri high, so that's good. Maybe into your studio wanga you are only just one person. Nabyo olusi bimenya. Naye kyendiko kiri ki kyengenda okwogerako leero, it is just something small and we see what's up. Now, for those of you abali ku Twitter, I don't know if at all you're following. Joel Yachigundu, Sekandi Farouk, Christine Uganda, blah 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 blah. I don't know if you're following, but omukulu gwe bayita Nicholas Opio. I think most of you know who Nicholas Opio is. Musajja emirimu gyagikoze, akoledde nnyo ekibiina, mulwanyirizi w'eddembe ly'obuntu, human rights lawyer katugambe. That's who he is. And we cannot doubt his record of ku mirimu gy'akola omukulu ono gwe bayita Nicholas Opio. But the problem is nti ennaku zino olulimi lwe lwakyukamu kale. That is what we are tutategeera, and that's what we are going to explain today. Okutegeera what it means, the repercussions of Nicholas Opio's actions, kitegeeza kikyagezaako okukola, and what is he trying to literally, what is he trying to achieve in all this? Because ebintu ebisinga byakola, to me they actually do not make sense. And I've been getting so many phone calls from some people who have been following him and following his tweets to tell me about this particular situation. Because Nicholas is one person that we have been looking up to, as in terms of nadala for abantu abali ku struggle, nga at least nti omuntu n'owaaba akwatiddwa, like if someone is being ng'omuntu akwatiddwa mu struggle, and some people would think like, okay, the first person gwe tuba tukubirako is, what does Nicholas Opio have to say about this? Nti Nicholas Opio ayinza otuyambako ku nsonga eno, things of that sort. So to see him tweeting the things he's tweeting these days, you get to wonder. But some of you chemutamanyi is the fact that Mukulu Opio, this is not how he was initially. As you all know, he was not a crybaby, a person who was always crying about this. Like Nebitarium, like he would be the last person you would expect to cry in Tivanvuma, this and that. I don't know what he expected from People Power supporters. And like, literally, Abantu ba People Power. I don't know, I should have done this, but I will do this episode in English on my YouTube channel. That's why I'm doing Chovola njikola kwa mu Luganda, so that I'll mix English, but I know I will read Luganda, because I wanted him to get the message. Because so many people have looked up to Nicholas Opio. He has done so much work in human rights in Uganda, so much stuff. He's an admirable guy. And so on and so forth. Era mubimu ku bintu byakola. In fact, Bobi Wine we bakubibwa amasasi mu Arua is one of the people who were the first on the crime okulwanirira eddembe lya His Excellency Kyagulanyi and all the things that happened. He's one of the people who actually followed up the case of Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu, His Excellency. But now the tone is a bit changing. And it is that time when some of us abasinga naddala ffe abalwanira nti you reach that time, no hitting a block, and then where you have to recuperate. No nti, something small can piss you off. Nti oluusi olaba ebintu bya struggle, like omuntu ayinza okutambula ng'oli waka, just something small, obanga emmere tebaataddemu munnyo, ekyo kyokka kikunyiiza naddala stage gye tulimu wano mu struggle. Only that can piss someone off. Omuntu n'atandika okujja ku live n'ayogera ebintu nga tebitegeerekeka. Nze mundabanga nga ntuuse ku stage eyo nga byenjogera tebitegeerekeka, at least mungamba nti mayanja, you know what, Facebook yo deleting oba Twitter yo deleting, oddeyo osirikemu katono, then olidda nga omaze okuteeka everything in order, because you hit that wall at times. So, and I think Nicholas Opio, I would like to give him a benefit of doubt, and maybe he has hit that particular wall, or it has come to that moment in his career. Also, do we think maybe it is not that, and that is what I'm going to explain today. Because look here, guys. Now, Council Kembabulide, who Nicholas Opio really is, both locally as well as internationally, so that you guys can, when I make my analysis, when I do my explanations, you can understand why his tweets really matter and what he's really trying to get to. Now, Nicholas Opio akulira ekibiina bakiyita chapter 4 Uganda. Chapter 4 ye chapter oba gwe mukko mu constitution ya Uganda ogukwatagana ku ddembe ly'obuntu, human rights, kwogera ku ddembe ly'obuntu, bla 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 bla, gye bayita chapter 4. Nti musajja alwaniridde eddembe ly'obuntu mu Uganda, okuviira ddala ku basiraamu, ba politicians, gundi sexual minorities and so many people abalwaniridde nga tasusuddeemu by the way. Era ye muntu nti gavumenti ya Uganda buli wayogera Nicholas Opio y'omu ku balooya nti singa abalina ekintu kyakoze Uganda oyo ne I think nomula yali Ladislav Rakafuz akuba Rakafuz these days takyalabika nnyo ndowooza yalwala, but for those of you who are in the human rights world you know very well musajja bamuyita Ladislav linnya lya Kirasha Ladislav Rakafuz. He was also a very prominent guy, but Opio, if at all singa akwatibwa anything happens to him internationally, he's one of those lawyers that really receive a lot of media attention because of his work internationally as well as locally and regionally mu continent of Africa. Ekintu kyonna ky'abaakoze oyo guy, right? Mu balooya ba Uganda, that's what I mean. Nti he goes bamuwandikako nnyo mu mawulire gano agali international. That's what I mean, right? So ekyokuba nti abadde atulwanirira na biki, it has always helped. Newe bamusibira awo Museveni nga amutaddeko ebisango era he went viral ne chapter 4 his organization. Nicholas Opio is one person, by the way. For those of you who read the waliwo article yafuluma mu Daily Monitor bamale bakwata omusajja gwe bayita Kale Kayihura bamuteekeko sanctions as a Global Magnitsky Act sanctions. Olw'ensonga ebintu ebimu ebyenjawulo Kayihura byakola, so Kayihura ne bamuteekako sanctions, tasobola genda mu America, tasobola kukola any contract na biki, tasobola kugulayo property oba kuggyayo sente. Now the person Mwenda Andrew organized a meeting between Kayihura and Nicholas Opio. Nga Mwenda agamba Kayihura nti omuntu gw'olina okukwatagana naye ku nsonga eyo alina okuyambako okwogera n'abasajja abo abakutaddeko sanctions ezo ye Nicholas Opio. Gende wa Nicholas Opio oyogere naye. Onooyogera naye then maybe alina kyayinza okwogererayo mu basajja baffe abo abazungu ne babaako ne kye bakolera. Mwenda ng'ategeka meeting nga bagende Opio ne Kayihura nga atudde side eri nga ne Mwenda atudde side eno ne boogerezeganya n'Opio. Opio n'amugamba sina kye nnyinza kukolera, I'm very sorry, but of course Opio would have done something. Naye yagaana okubaako ne kyakolera ani Kale Kayihura. And so we thought that Mr. Opio is a man of high integrity, right? He stands for his word. He stands for so many things in his life. Era integrity is one of it. Kyovola nti badde bamuteekako ebisango bingi, ekitongole kye simanyi corruption biki, like they have been trying to soil his name na biki. Now, so ekyo kitegeeza nti Opio alina connections. Opio alina abamugoberera bangi. Opio, there are so many people who look up to him or who look at him ku kiki kyaba following up oba ku kiki kyaba akola, because they regard him as oba bamulabanga as a man of high integrity. That's who he is, especially internationally. Like he has his connections, European Union, America, where so many things here and there. Now, so that brings me to his tweets of recent. Now, earlier this year, you should all remember nti Museveni yaggalawo ekitongole kye. Yasooka n'aggalawo kino ekitongole kyali kisinga okuwa ebitongole ebirala ssente kibayita nkyerabidde ekyo kyemumanyi mwenna. Then all of a sudden, Mr. Opio y'omu ku bantu abaali investigating okuttibwa kw'abantu okwa November last year, 18th and 19th November. He was investigating. Okuva we yatandika okuinvestigating okuttibwa kw'abantu last year, he has never had peace. He has never had peace ever since he started investigating the murder of people. That's why I've told people. Inti event ya last year mu November, it is very, very important okubanga mugiteeka ku mwanjo. Okubanga mumusobola okumentioninga amanya g'abantu abo abattibwa, the 50 people, over 60 people that were murdered last year. Because Museveni, eyo event yamukuba talina bw'agejjako. Buli wagamba mbu these people were rioting nga bamugamba yiyi mwalimu abakazi b'olubuto, mwalimu professor, mwalimu omusajja w'emyaka 7. Talina ngeri gy'akyewozaako. Ekyo kyamulema. Era ekintu ekyo singa tumugezaako nnyo kiremesa mawulire kijja kubakolera. Gwe weebuuze lwaki buli ayayogera ku kuttibwa kw'abantu essaawa zino bonna kati tebaliiwo kumpi. Oba si kyo bayi balwadde okufaako obufi. For example, asooka bamuyita ani oyo omusajja? Asooka Ssaabasajja Kabaka yakyogerako. Abantu abatta abantu okuva Kabaka yayogera ku kyokuttibwa kw'abantu, eby'emayiro ne bitandika, mbu simanyi kati Mayiro Land, Mayiro tugijjewo, simanyi kaakati Bobi Wine musajja wa Buganda yekka ali tribalistic ali nepotistic bla 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 kasita bayogera ku kyokutta kuttibwa kw'abantu kuno kulimu ekintu Opio neetumiikiriza anyonyereza ani yasse omanyi Opio oyo alina connections ze mu police omwo bamugamba kino bamugamba kiri kyova olaba bano bagundi bonna bwe bakwatibwa his excellence Bobi Wine we yakwatibwa Opio knew where he was. He was able to identify, by the way. He's one person who identifies policemen and stuff. He's a really good guy, like. And that's why for me, I wouldn't go on abusing. Like, for people who try to abuse him, do not abuse the gentleman. Kakati Opio, nagina natandika okunyonyereza. Kubanga wakawe abeera nnyo underground, wabanga he has picked interest in the particular case. So he went out there, nagenda, anyonyereza. Omusajja wa CMI ne butegeera nti ono alina kyaliko ne batwala laptop ne bakola ki okakana ne bamuteekako emisango gya terrorism no money laundering bamusanga money laundering ekibiina kye ekya chapter 4 kapa ne bakiggala naye nga gwe ddala okkiriza nti chapter 4 yali ekola money laundering ne bamuggala ne bamutwala n'ekigo n'asulayo ze yasulayo ne tuyomba 3 opio nga twakola free opio wano nga twakola free opio ne Bobi Wine n'abiwandiikako everyone era nga buli omu amanyi opio kati no munnange ekibiina kivanga bakiggalawo ebintu byongera kwonooneka nti kirabika omukulu bayika baamukwata ewaluma kubanga ebbanga eryo lyonna lyonna abaddewo nga tayogera ku kuvumirwa kw'abantu ebbanga eryo lyonna lyonna abaddewo ng'emirimu gyagikola era nga tewali amuvuma ate nga tewali n'omu amuvumye naye tugenda okulaba tweets zigamba nti banvuma naye nga okukebera mu threads nga tewali amuvuma kakati byavudde ku kuba nti bavuma ye ne bidda ku kuba nti kati bafuma Chief Justice ne tugamba entalo za mukulu Opio ate ziyingira zitya mu za Chief Justice Chief Justice yennyini omusajja akulira okumenya amateeka mu Uganda kubanga kakati si akulira he's not the custodian of the law in the country literally the Chief Justice Owiny Dole I'm sorry they have no kind words for Owiny Dole a gentleman who stole ayabba fayiro ya mulamuzi munne olw'okuba nti awakanye ne abawakanye they have disagreed he is a doll Owiny Dole twamuvuma okay samuvuma nze Salim I never abused Owiny Dole. Okay, Owiny Dole. Oh, come on, Owiny Dole. That's his. Yeah, Owiny Dole. Obeda ngamba Owiny Dole. Owiny Dole is his name. Owiny Dole we agenda nasala ebitaliyo n'alaga kyekubiira mu musango gwa His Excellency Kyagulanyi Ssentamu versus the Electoral Commission. Toyina ngeri kubanga he was exposed. The biggest fight bana Uganda gye baagala Mr. Nicholas Opio yeyo Owiny Dole failed on his first attempt to be the Chief Justice of Uganda to do the right thing. As a Chief Justice in the Sasoma Mateka, I did education, the most basic course in Uganda. I call it basic. But I'm intelligent enough to know the principle of sub judice. Inti omusango gwali guli mu koti togwogerako kye tuyita sub judice. Owiny Dole ayita Museveni okuggulawo ekizimbe ky'abalamuzi ng'omusango guli mu kkooti ng'atandika okuwoza nti look here Museveni omusango ogwa petition tugenda gukwata bulungi. The custodian of the law in the country, Chief Justice in his first year, Owiny Dole is he's the same gentleman yatulimba bamubuuza mu interview on NTV ne bamubuuza nti we baba awa akantu konna mu kalulu biki nagamba akalulu kasitakalagamu any sort of disparity mu kuba nti no ono side emu baginyigiriza nga side emu endala yenyigiriza akakalulu kalina kusazibwamu. Owiny Dole failed even his people who put him in that position because his people wanted him to make a judgment. Ne tumusala amagezi ne tusikayo omusango. kali twasikayo omusango kyeka kyanyiza mukulu Opio naye Opio zisagala gamba nti no he's influenced by that. What I think Opio's tweets are about, they are about the fact that bamutekako emisango gya money laundering, ekibiina kye ne bakiggala, the paycheck is no longer coming in and so on and so forth, and now he's scapegoating kugamba nti NUP emuvuma. Now okay, katusooke tukomako katono tugenda kuyita mu tweets, but what does this mean? Naso sene mbabuulira abantu abafollowinga Owipo kansooke tulaba abantu abafollowinga omusajja ono gwe bayita Nicholas Opio oba gwe bayita Nick Opio. Now ogenda mu Nick Opio account wano katono katugendeyo wano tulabe abamufollowinga nti mulabe ebintu by'abawandiika, because mukumanya abafollowinga Nicholas Opio, whenever he tweets we get to know baani baagezaako okugamba obubaka buno bwagezaako okuwa ensi nti NUP tumuwemula tumuvumye era anyiize era biki twala tugende mukulu Nicholas Opio, human rights lawyer wuyo, a crusading Ugandan human rights Anthony, human rights dignity equality freedom chapter 4 Uganda. Ekibiina kye bakiggala bambi n'abantu baabo bamugoberera bangi kati followers waliwo ebintu byagoberera wano followers okay kale naye kale literally abantu bangi abamufollowinga 126k, that's a lot of people. Naye abasinga omugoberera they are international people abali human rights, rule of law, democracy and all that kind of crap stuff. Sorry. Now katulabeko kale wano mu his engagements tugendeko mu media tebe njagala kubalaga naye kale bino bingi, he has so many stuff, so much stuff. Kati katugende wano kale mu tweets ze yatuwandiseeko, which is really funny but it's not funny anyway, but okay, anyway, tweet okay, not here first, but let us first go a wee bit back tulabe tweets ze yasookera ddala okuwandiika and what he was saying, because this guy has embassies, all European Union embassies following him, aina American embassies following him, so many people are following him, and trust me, whatever he tweets, he just doesn't tweet out of the blue. Whatever he's tweeting, chili strategic, chili orchestrated for a certain purpose, and that's what I'm going to be discussing today. Now, when we byatandikira, by the way, a diaspora group invited me as a guest speaker at what they called a protest rally. I asked them to share more about the event. They produced a flyer and circulated it without my notice and approval. I don't share in their platform / approve of their mode of activism. I will not be part of it. Uganda is bleeding. Online protest exposing human rights abuses in Uganda. Saturday, 28th August 2021. Guest speaker Nicholas Opio, founder, chapter 4, blah, 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 blah. Now, I've been to Uganda is bleeding protests. Teba yokuwemula, teba yokuvuma. That's why you see it is very hard for even us, Woboko Soluzungu, toyinza kuwemula, toyinza kuvuma. I know the people who run Uganda is bleeding. David and all these other people. We have people like Matthias Impuga, the leader of the alternative government. He has been on Uganda is bleeding. So many MPs have been on Uganda is bleeding. Instead, if at all you do not believe in the modus operandi of these particular people, and maybe you do not accept how they do things, as a intelligent gentleman who knows how things should be done, maybe you should have engaged these people in the back and overgamba, okay guys, what you do is good, but this is the best way to do it. Let me tell you guys, when I started doing this sort of activism online, I stood with lawyer Gobandetera Gundi. The first human rights lawyer, by the way, I spoke to was omukulu gwaita Ladislav Rakafuz. Rakafuz namuleta wano ku Kyoto. And we spoke about so many things. Human rights in Uganda, okutuyugumya kw'abasiraamu, ebintu bya bairo, bichi Rakafuz oyo. I brought him. Now, for some of you might not know, muyinza okuba nga Rakafuz temumanyi, but Rakafuz ye muntu abeereddewo abasiraamu oyo guy. Ye buli musango abaddewo human rights buli kimu abadde. If you're speaking about people abadde momo into human rights, it is Ladislav Rakafuz. Nicholas Opio, of course, has just emerged, and Nicholas Opio has made his international connections. There are so many other human rights lawyers abali underground in Uganda, but only because this gentleman has a status, then of course he has a bit of pride and that kind of stuff, which is not bad, especially given where he is. But by the time Ugandans in the diaspora invite you for this event, it's not that you have to attend. You can decline, Chetwita, you can decline politely. It is the word. You decline politely, right? You can even tell them, look here, guys, you circulated the event, so you circulated the poster without my knowledge. Can you please pull it out, pull it down, and explain to me what this is all about? Now, the reason as to why this gentleman tweeted with this particular poster, it is for the people that are following him. It is for the people that are issuing the paycheck. Yep. It is the paycheck. Where it is coming from. The embassies. The international human rights organizations. I've seen lawyers here, human rights lawyers. Even if you go to the protests in the capital, when you we'll get more protests in London, even if you come to protests in America, everywhere in the diaspora, we have lawyers marching with people. So an online protest, all of a sudden now it's non-ethical. The mode of operation for you to speak about the human rights abuses, so it's not a good mode of work. Come on, lawyer. Never. Anyway, I will not go into. But this is really fascinating to me. I just do not understand how these people really. I do not understand. But the only way that I can explain this is this. Number one, by the time he was invited for this event, chapter 4 already bali closing. Chapter 4 bali bagitaddeko emisango gya money laundering. Chapter 4 already bali designating as a terrorist organization almost. Chapter 4 already bali be hands down. And I do understand that the guy is being cornered, bamukuba punches, and maybe they're even trying to bamutaddeko a lot of pressure, and maybe this explains these particular tweets. Now the reason as to why he tweeted this is because you do not have to believe in people power or NUP or whatever the political affiliation that you have to attend Uganda is bleeding protest. Yeah, you can come and use your 5 minutes and speak. Okay. So if I tell you you do not believe in what the modus of operandi of these people, in how Uganda is bleeding, does their particular protest, right? So does that mean that you would rather know? Because if you're trying to say that there are no human rights in Uganda, if you're fighting for the people who were killed in November, if you are fighting for the gay rights and LGBT rights, if you're fighting for the issue of bail and all these cases that you've been into, right? So would you really not need a platform to come and say, okay guys, things are happening and this is what is happening in Uganda and this is the work we have done, right? Wouldn't you need a platform to do that? So by you turning down such an event, it means that things are good in Uganda. And that is the communication that the gentleman is trying to show out there, exposing human rights abuses in Uganda. So the gentleman, Nicholas Opio, I think the way he handled this situation, he did not handle it as a gentleman who has been, or as a person that people look up to, number one, as a person with a lot of experience in how to work with, because if he has worked with so many human rights organizations, I know kubanga achimanyi how to handle such situations. But this was strategic in order to send a message to international people, to his friends internationally. That's what it is. Why chapter 4 Yabadechi closed? How do you get it reopened? Bro, Museveni is not, even if you say what on Bobby Wine or NUP, Museveni is not going to open chapter 4. Absolutely not. And Opio knows very well that what he was doing, because the people are on his side. The people are on your side. They are still on your side. That's why even people like us come out and speak what we are speaking. Because even me, in fact, we said banai, where is Opio? Opio ngechi tutanda chiyingiramu. Because we believed in singo Opio abachiyingiramu, at least abaikole chayamanyi. But Opio, I think, was not interested in Lumbuye. I don't know. Oba byali bikomyewa. Nengo omuntu obango enough values. If you have values in life, obango yimirira ku mazima. Even if it means Lumbuye nga tokkiriziganya na byayogera. Even if it means Mayanja nga it's not the same religion. the values that you stand for. What do you stand for in life? So if at all it is a Muslim, if at all it is Lumbuye, if it at all is NUP, do the values just go out of the window just because this person is supporting a different political affiliation that you do not subscribe to? Then it means that you do not stand for anything in life. As simple as that. Because if what you put ahead of you is your integrity should precede anything else. Into Wewaba Kuterumbuye, I should go there. Wewaba Oka protest exposing human rights abuses, I should be on that protest. What are these Ugandans? One, because Nicholas Opio, these guys about Uganda is bleeding. They are very proud people, good organizers, very organized, some of the best guys. And they have been doing this for close to now 9 months. For them to look in Uganda and say, okay, tetuja kuita Semakadde Isaac, tetuja kuita Ladisla Frakafozi, let us invite Nicholas Opio. You think they were stupid? They were not stupid. Now, this explains, of course, the fact that Inti Ayinza Okuba Musajja is subdued and he's doing what he's doing in order to have chapter 4 opened. Over Ayinza Okuba nga achikolanga, maybe the music has changed. As people say. Now, I will also give you solutions on how to sort this one out. So as you can see, when we're closing it, August 25th, we are not being sanctioned by the authorities for the late filing, rather for not filing at all. As we have shown here before, we did file our returns as of January 2021. The administrative delays and bureaucracies are the reason for the late filing for some of the years. We have been closed by the NGO Bureau. We will be back. Nicholas Opio, if you have engaged the social media, you would be free chapter 4. Unfortunately, now we can't. And now we call you here at August 25th, then August 27th, I'll call a Twitch channel. Of course, you should have used this platform to explain to people with what happened to chapter 4. But unfortunately, Teachikola. A diaspora group invited me. Twitch. So sad. Really sad. Now, we shall give you the good, what you are supposed to do. Now, okay. So you see these people that are following Nicholas Opio, no, like, of course these are his connections. We all know that anyway. Oh, those Jim Lincolns, okay, kakati wane wala chichino. Now this is it. Twitter yakasemba 22 hours. Let us break this down. Agambatia, I've represented many NUP leaders and supporters when their rights are infringed. But I think this hate-ladened... okay. I've represented many NUP leaders and supporters when their rights are infringed. But I think these hate-ladened online trolls are vitriol of anyone you disagree with in tactless and alienating. I have suffered it and now see a sustained pattern of the same against the Chief Justice. Many have no idea how many times the Chief Justice put his foot down to save their leader from unlawful imprisonment. From Gulu High Court, Masaka to Nalfenia, the judiciary followed the law and granted bail when it would have taken easier and convenient road of rejecting it. You never win a political battle by being abusive and obnoxious. You do so by the power of persuasion and ideas. Huh. Social media warriorism is a short-term gratification, not a long-term political strategy for change, at least in my world. I hope I'm wrong. Guys, take this serious, by the way. This is not it does not just come out of the blue that he's writing these tweets. Let us challenge the guy. Okay. I've represented many NUP leaders and supporters when their rights agamba nti awolereza abakulembeze b'ekibiina kya NUP bangi n'abawagizi bammwe naye effutwa n'obukyayi abantu bano ababeera ku Facebook ne social media bwe baweereza abantu be batakkiriziganya nabo tebuyina makulu era bwa kisiru kyantuukako era nakati ndaba abantu be bamu batandise okuwalampa Ssaabalamuzi wa Uganda Justice Obunyi Dole. Now ekisooka kituufu nti omukulu Nicholas Opio representings abakulembeze b'ekibiina kye NUP n'abawagizi baabwe kituufu 100% nga bakwatiddwa nga n'okukubibwa bakubibwa kituufu 100%. Kitegeera kituufu nti Nicholas Opio avumiddwa olw'okuba nti nno abantu tebakkiriziganya naye mu ngeri emu oba endala. Ekyo si kituufu nti nga ab'NUP be bamuvuma. It is not true. Where? Look here, Nicholas Opio should know very well nti abantu tebagenda kukkiriziganya na byayogera all the time. Nze nange nzija wano ne banvuma. Even within people powerful nyini batuvuma. Now the problem with Jonathan Sokulabe Uganda, if someone comes out with an argument nti banvuma, that's a red flag. Someone can have another excuse, right? But the excuse of banvuma, every banvuma excuse, we know where it leads. We saw it with Dr. Stella Nyanzi. We saw it with all these people that have left the power. And of course, I believe Nicholas Opio should have had another excuse. Because with the kind of work Mr. Opio is doing, I believe he has so much abuse that comes from either the opposition, some people who masquerade as opposition, as well as some people within the NRM. I know very well, without judging Mr. Opio, because as a human rights activist, he has to fight for LGBTQ rights. And Abada fighting for LGBTQ rights. And the amount of abuse that he has been getting from people, nga siyafe NUP, but the abuse has been getting from NRM. Iranga bagamba Nicholas Opio is LGBT rights activist fighting with Bobby Wine to bring LGBT in Uganda. And that's what they were using, literally. But Nicholas Opio never countered that. On what point did people of NUP really attack Mr. Nicholas Opio? Because Nicholas Opio has been a human rights activist, because some people might agree in some spheres and some other spheres might not disagree. But where they disagree, they leave that. But where they agree, they converge and work together. Which is happening. So I do not understand why Akonsa argument, he has been trolled just because he disagrees with people. I think I'm trolling about NUP. And yet, when the NRM guys trolled him because of his work, because of his work, he never came out to cry to the world that, hey guys, these guys are trolling me. But now he's all of a sudden coming out. Do you know why? Well, we know chapter 4 was closed. Where might this lead? Oh, we don't really know, but we know. And now, him being a lawyer, kakati ate abitaddemu Chief Justice, causing together ate Chief Justice Owinyi Dolo ate Nicholas Opio. Come on, gotola je biraga ate ono ekitongole kye bakigadde mirukadi evuddewo. What does that mean? What do you stand for? Why do you think you have the right to absolute truth? Nicholas Opio toyina kulowooza nti no, you have absolute truth nti gwe kagwayogera amazima. No, even nange I do acknowledge that if I'm wrong on a particular issue, I will backtrack and I say, look guys, I'm wrong. But by the way this guy is speaking in his tweets, it has a lot of arrogance. Chirimo okwemanya kungi nti nzenze kanza amanyinza ategeera. You guys are tactless and alienating. First and foremost, online trolls. First of all, he is online, addressing his issues online. And in one of the tweets below, I was a social media warriorism. Kakari, it beats my mind. He is the one without tactics, number one. He is the one that doesn't know how social media works. Now, Mr. Opio should understand 3 or 4 things. Because this is the same thing I'm facing with so many Ugandans that I'm trying to teach. The world of social media, the world of internet is ahead, right? Kakati is the one that is dictating everything in life, internet. And people have failed to catch up. So you can, because look here, for no, accountants no longer have jobs. I just have an app, it does my books, Intuit books, bang. Submit to HMRC, submit to IRS, done. Human resource managers, tebacha ina minimum. LinkedIn, you just go online looking for someone to hire. You just hire people. Never know you never begin to kujanga temucha ina minimum. With this AI that is coming up, whatever, AI, Mark Davis, yes, go be together. Kakati musiko ono mukuru opio yecha atugamba nti okay social media yamwe warriors tebikola nga twakola protests wano ko social media DJ Khalid yajja opio waliddawa gwe lawyer human rights lawyer kanstuka no stuka human rights lawyer Nicholas Opio gwategere nnyo who has so much tactics we twakola protests ko mukuru Khalid DJ Khalid yajja protest twagikuba. Was that tactless? Opio, tell me. Was that tactless we talk about online protest? DJ Khalid Nagano Koja? Where were you as a lawyer? As a human rights lawyer to fight? That is what we call activism, civil disobedience. Now, there is something bano baloya chebakola nti bo balo anentalo zaabwe in a sense nti ezaabwe zigwera makoti, and that is what they know. We all don't know the law. Unjust law is not law at all. St. Augustine. Kubanga buli wotukole teka nga liri unjust nga siri enkanya teriba teka. If you go to apartheid South Africa, it was a law. Apartheid South Africa webanga lyali teka, it means everyone had to abide by it. The segregation of blacks. So as a lawyer ojaja kugamba yes it teka. Okay, wetubanga tutambulira mateka nga liteka. So was apartheid just? It wasn't just. Unjust law is not law. Wogenda mu Germany Hitler gundi ba Germany babetabo ekibina cha Hitler, the Nazis, yeah. They had laws. It all goes back to you as a human being. When go muntu Nicholas Opio, it all goes back to you as a human being. What do you stand for? Even if what you stand for, because there are so many things, Nicholas Opio, that you stand for, that if you went to other countries, yeah, they contradict the law in those particular countries. So what do you do? What do you do? And there are so many things that contradict the law in Uganda as well. Now, for you, you want to fight within the law. By saying, oh, the law says this, the law says that. Yeah, that is your field of speciality. You field your jotegera. Abaana balika bategeera comments, abaana bamanyi okusharinga, abaana bamanyi okutweetinga, kabaleke bakole ogwo be bawoliya. You can't say it is tactless. Obama would have gone and looked for as many lawyers as possible within New York and all those other states to come and run his 2008 campaign. But why did Obama use social media? Why did he clamp down? Like, lwaki yateekako ekigere waati nagamba social media yegenda okumpisaawo. Social media webanga eri tactless nga tekola. Lwaki Museveni agikubako omusolo? Lwaki yaggalawo Facebook? So it means Mukuru Opio agrees with Museveni that, oh, put more tax on Facebook because these guys are just tactless and they are warriors. Katusigale nga tukirwanyisa no makoti. How many days do the courts sit in Uganda? A court zitula di Uganda. Because you lawyers, you are only used to fighting in the court. Checho. Opio gokolera ebyo bigwera mu kooti ebyaffe bigwera ku street zaaki Facebook street, Twitter street, Instagram street, YouTube avenue eyo gye bigwera, Facebook avenue eyo gye bigwera ebyaffe gwe bibyo birinda bituuka eri simanyi bayitayo bati eyo Supreme Court of Uganda teyina omu abifollowinga Supreme Court simanyi wano simanyi come on ffe ebyaffe biri ku Facebook avenue wobisanga Twitter Boulevard awo nga twetwala punch ku punch ennaku zino bamuhoozi bonna bablocking abantu social media warriors ababa guboliko the warriors that stood up for you nga bakutadde mu komera, are they the ones you're talking about? People putting tell muntu we NRM yavayo kulwanirira Nicholas Opio, not even Andrew Mwenda. Nicholas Opio, we came out. I even did a video about capturing Opio. Ngamuhoza Arieli Awaga. Where was the Chief Justice to come and speak about Nicholas Opio's arrest? The same Chief Justice that is presiding over a corrupt judicial system that has made the same human rights lawyer, one of the best in Uganda, Nicholas Opio, a victim. He's the same human rights lawyer, he's the same Chief Justice that Nicholas Opio is coming out today to defend from the so-called online trolls and social media warriors. Now, I wouldn't like to go there, but I would sense a hint of Sija Kyogera. I would give him a benefit of doubt. But I knew where this was going. I know. We see things very well. If someone starts the rhetoric, this guy is highly educated. He should know very well that you are not going to convince everyone. Even me, I know. I know very well. I'm not going to convince everyone to love Bobby Wine. And I also expect negative feedback. I also expect people to abuse me. I also expect that. How do you handle it? Okulekanga engeri gyoki handlinga kiri strategic in order to demonize and demean a particular political institution, because that political institution has become powerful. The same political institution has provided a platform for you to speak about the atrocities and the human rights abuses that are in your line of work. Nogano okujja okukozesa platforms ezo. Our event has happened in Boston, Massachusetts. We are on top of the world. Everything is happening. Bang. Ngono atwatuletera bino bya Chief Justice. Okay. Let us address the gentleman he is talking about. The gentleman that people are trolling. The gentleman that people are speaking about. Mr. Nicholas Opio. Let us go slow. Number one. I've seen the same pattern against the Chief Justice. These are the same people. Because the Chief Justice was Museveni's personal lawyer. Isn't that a conflict of interest? Where are your values as a human being? As a lawyer, where do you stand? Because you cannot have both foot everywhere. You cannot have your foot here at the same time I'm fighting for human rights. Yeah, but at the same time, it is the same courts that are convicting you of money laundering in the same courts that are corrupt. Oh, that ezamukwano go owinyidore. Where do you stand on these matters? So are you trying to say that the Chief Justice Owinyidore, he's presiding over a just system that is just? Who doesn't know even a rookie kind of Saxo Mamateka have told you, but I know the principle of Yakondakakwata, subjudice, nange ninga bad black, and kwata yo kano nakali. Nemanya okay, when waliyo mu biology waliyo kacha konkamanyi na kananga mateka manyi ka subjudice. Omusango guba mu court togogerako. Where was Nicholas Opio to condemn? Okay, was that a good act for you, Mr. Nicholas Opio, for the Chief Justice to speak about a case that was already taking place? Where were you, Mr. Opio, when the Chief Justice stole weyabba file ya munne? This gentleman has contradicted his word. He is not a man. This Odole is not. I swear, Opio would have picked another person to defend, but not Odolo. He was not even supposed to be the Chief Justice, by the way, for those of you who don't know. He was unqualified, this gentleman. There are so many other people who were supposed to be Chief Justices, but because of Museveni's politics of trying to create some sort of a northern alliance against the Baganda and that kind of stuff, so he picked Odole, and then he had this gentleman in the Uganda Police Force, and then he had the other ones as the Vice President and all that kind of stuff to create that sort of politics. Odole was not picked Rakubanti are competent. We all know that. Iranga predecessor we Bati Katulebe. Now they will say, hey, Byamateka. No. What judgments have these people made? What judgments have they made? Look, when a situation can stay going on, look here in Afghanistan today, when the Taliban took over, as we speak today, the binary justice system. The justice system, when a nation crashes, everything within that country gets destroyed and gets rebuilt again. Zinozona, Rome was destroyed, the Byzantine Empire was destroyed, and that is where you all get your laws, because that's where you caught anyway. But those empires collapsed. Amateka galekerawo okuba nti no baga. Yes, all these, because waliwo olonda ono omusajja gwe bayita Odolo nga talina the power a hiring oba ekyusa n'abalamuzi. He's not picked. Kyekiro tebabadde bakayanako Kenya, by the way. For those of you who have been following the BBI project in Kenya, because Kenya babadde baagala nnyo okulimitinga amaanyi ga president, because in the BBI project mulimu article egamba nti they should install or they balina okuteekawo omuntu gwe bayita ekigambo kiyita atya ombudsman, something like that. Naye ng'oyo ombudsman alondebwa gundi president. Bano ababadde bawakanya BBI ne bagamba bro, kooti yagambye nope, whereas the office of the ombudsman yebaddewo, but we do not need a president okuba nti nno yalonda ombudsman, because if the president picks the ombudsman agenda kubanga muyinako influence. Let the judiciary, because president walonda ombudsman agenda kubanga muyinako influence, and what that means is nti ombudsman ajja kukola in the interest of the president in order to keep the job. So what we have to do is to make sure that if we are to have an ombudsman within Kenya in the constitutional reform, aka BBI project, ya collapses, the ombudsman ayina kubeera picked by the judicial system, so that, or the judiciary, so that titabeera nti abeera influenced by the president. No anaba akoze judgment tajja kuluzinga mulimu gwe. But these people bali ku handouts, just like Nicholas Opio, chapter 4 gone, and this one cannot do a judgment and it just because he needs the paycheck, because he needs the meal card. Many have no idea how many times abantu abasinga tebamanyi emirundi emeka just Chief Justice Owiny Dollo jagezezaako okuwonya mukama waabwe. You say his name. Why don't you say his name, Mr. Opio? Say his name to save their leader from unlawful imprisonment. Mutemumanyi mirundi emeka bamukumwe Owiny Dollo jawonyeza mukama wammwe okukwatibwa. From Gulu High Court to Masakanda Rufenya, the judiciary followed the law and granted bail when it would have taken easier and convenient road of rejecting it. Let us break this down. Omukulu agambye tetumanyi mirundi emeka. That is true. Ayinza okuba yamuwonya. Naye emirundi gye yamuwonya, that is testament that the system in Uganda does not work. Nti yayina omuwonya ogusooka, ogwokubiri, ogwokusatu, okumuwonya kwa mukama waffe His Excellency Robert Kyagulanyi Ssentamu kwalinga temporary, tekwalinga long term. Kyovola abantu kati bakyabakwatira ne bamamba bail. Kati for Nicholas, he says that Chief Justice yakola nnyo okulaba nga Bobi Wine afuna bail. Okay, wabanga yakola well and good, tumwebaza. But katubuuze ekibuuzo kimu. Bro, let me ask you one question, simple question. Do you think His Excellency Kyagulanyi aweebwa bail because Chief Justice asazeewo? Do you think Segirinya bani bonna bagenda kuweebwa bail because omulamuzi asazeewo? Omulamuzi era yasazeewo mu kkooti, tebazzemu ne babakwata. Kiki ekireetera omulamuzi okusalawo with the help of the Chief Justice? Mu kuteebwa kwa Kyagulanyi, Chief Justice akola 1%. Or 0.5% mu political system gye tulimu kati. Mu kuteebwa kwa muntu yena alina awakanya obukulembeze bwa Museveni, omuntu yena akola 0.1%. Percentage esinga ekolebwa online trolls abali tactless bovuma. Percentage esinga ekolebwa bana abali ku street e London ne ba protesting, abali mu America ne bagenda ku street. Kubanga gwe Nicholas Opio, you do not have the balls to stand with the people on the street. Because goli wachi wa makoti ndinze nize koti Supreme Court etuule. Supreme Court eneetuula ddi? Kakati Nicholas Opiyo emirimu gy'okola bw'ogenda Afghanistan osobola ogikola gwe? Mu baali Batalibaani, Abatalibaani baaweze saaluuni zonna. Gwe Nicholas Opiyo osobola ogikola? You want to... Anyway, okay, the problem with analyzing these tweets is because at the back of my head, I have the idea these tweets are directed towards a certain group of people. That is why when you try to argue them out, it might not make sense. Because the message is not directed towards us. The message is being directed towards his funders, towards the international community, towards these people about the international. Unfortunately. Kati Nicholas Opiyo tumutwale mu Afghanistan. Asobola okukolera yoyo. Nga tolina ba online trolls. Nga tolina bana abaana abakomenting abasharinga. Osobola okukolerayo. Fe bamayanja abakola zi live. Kati ng'omusajja alina strategy ey'omu kkooti lwaki? Kubanga what you are doing, it is kirenganga wano okuba. You remember very well when you used to go to the well and then you had the leaking jerrycan that had so many holes, and then you had to get soap and you patch it up where it is leaking. Just a few meters, a few meters ahead, then nga akasabuni kavao ngodamo zibikira. A few meters, kasabuni kakavao ngodamo zibikira. That is Opiyo's fighting strategy. Kubanga yalowooza nti by using amateeka mu kkooti, without using other avenues, he will be able to change leadership in Uganda. He will be able to bring about justice in Uganda. What do you stand for as an individual? Because Nicholas Opiyo, in his line of work as a human rights lawyer, temulimu regime change. And that is where we differ, by the way. Because ye ayuza okubanga talwanirira regime change, ngalowooza nti within the Museveni regime, you can still improve human rights, you can still improve the rule of law, you can still take away, which is wishful thinking. A wishful thinking. You cannot sell me for the past 35 years. I don't think Nicholas is even 35 years. Sisubinanti, he's 35. I'm not even 35. But for the past 35 years, for the whole of my life, omusajja atulimbye, n'atulimba n'amannya ge. You want to tell me that a person yakulimbye n'amanya nga n'okusoma kwe takumanyi, nti he is going to create reform within the justice system? Nga n'omusajja yennyini Francis Ayume eyagezaako okumugamba nti ssebo togeza n'okwata ku constitution n'ojjawo ekkomo ku bisanja, of which Ayume shares, I think ava mu kifo kye kimu n'oyo guy Opiyo. Ayume told him Museveni. Kera Ayume ne bamukubira essimu nti jangu Museveni ayagala kulaba n'afuna akabenje. Ayume yafiira ku kigambo kye. One thing, let me tell you, if there is a northerner here who is watching me, now maybe people haven't told you this, and this is not tribalistic, but me as a person who is a Muganda, goyiza okuba oli mukyoli oba oli mulango, but fe tugamba ekintu kimu, abantu abava mu north, unless nga kyakyuka, baba beesimbu. They are people of their word. People from the north are people of their word. I don't know where they got it, but they are people of their word. But what is your word? What is ekigambo kyo ki? What are your values? I don't know. Because Wobango enough values literally. And the argument into Chief Justice is saving up Bobby Wine. Bobby Wine was massively saved by Ugandans who were outside that put as much pressure as possible. How many Ugandans are in Makomera Bavundirayo? Aren't there people within the NRM, within the justice system that are fighting to get these people out? Why aren't they coming out? Why is it that NUP has managed to secure the freedom of its people? It is because NUP activists, both online and on ground, bavayo ne balwana. Gwolowooza ono omwana gwe baakwata ne basibira e Congo yani erinnya lye. Sam Mugumya. Do you know who Sam Mugumya was? Do you know who Godi Akbar is? Godi Akbar gwe baakwata ne bateekako n'emisango, simanyi yatta mukyala we ne bamuteekako n'emisango gy'obuyeekera. Who came out to fight for Godi Akbar? And then you say social media warriors, trolls and tactless? Abana ba stopping, I mean, come on. Go to New Chief Justice or Owiny Dolo, who can lose his job even tomorrow. Tomorrow? He's not elected by the people. He's just appointed. I would rather respect the Chief Justice if he had even turned the job down. Because there is no reform. Taina agenda kuchusa within the system. He is now part of the system. Because this is where maybe we might disagree with Opio, by Opio saying he believes there can be reform with Museveni being in power. And of course, Opio knows very well that the Chief Justice, the Right Honorable Owiny Dolo, he doesn't have that power to reform the justice system. Because if he had the power, bro, wabanga dala Owiny Dolo yaina amanyago. The things that are happening, the police byekola, Owiny Dolo yani bali tabikirizwa kola. We wouldn't not have accepted that. And he failed on his first step. He tripped and fell. Owiny Dolo fell. He was naked all over the place. And the problem with you lawyers, Simanyi, it is the same thing with Justice Byabakama. It is the same thing with Owiny Dolo. Because what we have in Uganda, they are not lawyers. They are not judges. These are cadres. We are tuli mu cadre system. Everybody got to go back for cadre. Sheikh Mubajje cadre. That one yali mu basiramu ene waffe. Ono omusajja gwe bayita Kazimba Mugalu cadre. He's a cadre. Ino bintu byakola mu biraba cadre yennyini awedde emirimu. Justice Byabakama cadre. Bamala okubatwala ne baweereza Museveni emisango, then oluvannyuma ne bajjanga bakola nga bawa Chief Justice, Minister of Justice, bla 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 bla. Bano bonna bakiri owakiwanuka mubalaba bali half baked be balooya bammwe ba justice bammwe. Toyina gw'oyinza kukwata n'omukwata n'omuteeka ne mu government wallahi eddako singa system eba eyise. All these cadre judges need to be taken back for another round of 5 years training. If at all you are to change and overhaul the entire system of Uganda, there is no one. A Chief Justice can speak about a case that is in court in front of a guy who has just murdered people and tell him, oh, we are going to handle the case very well. A Chief Justice? Oyinza okikola ekyo? Really? No bafairo? Have we forgotten that? What does the Chief Justice stand for? Kakati Bobi Wine bamukwata. Is there a guarantee nti tajja kuddayo? Kale bageze baddemu bamukwate bamuteekeyo bamuteekeyo tulabe nti Chief Justice Owiny Dolo wanaaba tayogedde nti Bobi Wine bamutete bajja mmuta. Kati mwe mukole ebyammwe Chief Justice amukumireyo ayogere ekigambo kye, face pressure tugiteeke ku Museveni tulabe ani anaamuta. Ugwe agenda okuwoza mu makooti naffe abagenda okumusabula ku social media ne mutabani we ne family ye bonna tulabe ani anateesa Bobi Wine. Do you know lwaki Bobi Wine takyakwatibwako olwaleero? Is it because nti Chief Justice Owiny Dolo yamuwolereza emabegako? Oba is it because that Museveni is worried nti singa amukwatako ne kamujjotoka ekigenda okuva online, ekigenda okuva mu diaspora kigenda kuba kyangu? I don't know how Nicholas Opio understands these things. Naye nze ndaba nti arguments ze ziri very shallow, petty. I don't think he would be discussing such things. And I don't know why he would align the abuse and the trolling of the Chief Justice with NUP. Maybe it is the NRM that is trolling him themselves. Because we have no business with the Fifth Justice. He is a thief. A thief. T-I-E-F. Yeah, fifth. Fifth time was 10,000. Fifth Justice because he stole our victory. Fifth Justice. No one can respect him. Who is the Fifth Justice? Who is the Chief Justice of Ghana? Fifth Justice, Owiny Dolo. We know. You're not stupid. What did he do? He served their leader. What are you doing? Okay. Kakati, wabanga he served our leader. Okay? Okay, guys, let us look here. Katulabe Opio, omusango gwani yaguli muti yali segona. Let us see who saved Opio from the prison. Ani ayagenda okwole mbadde sina gundi wano mbadde sina kisa kisinga keki naye njagala kulaba yamuwolereza omusango gwe guno ogusembeeyo Opio lawyers I think it was Segona Uganda. I mean, look, if you... Okay. I think yali David Mpanga. Now, David Mpanga, yono wa Buganda, yabadde amuwolereza. Kiraba. David Mpanga, he was his lawyer for anti-corruption. David Mpanga was his lawyer. Okay, so David Mpanga was his lawyer. But then, Opio wayogera bino ebintu, I do understand. To some extent, njagala muwa. You see, I'm doing this two sides. To some extent, njagala muwa benefit of doubt. Inti ali subdued, abasajja bamunyize. But he has to put out such a kind of face, okubalaga nti he's destroying us. I also believe that. And I'm going to give you a solution on how we should handle the situation. You never win a political battle by being abusive and obnoxious. You do so by his power of persuasion and ideas. Social media warriorism is a short-term gratification, not a long-term political strategy for change, at least in my world. And I hope I'm wrong. Well, you know what, mate? You're not wrong. You're right. I believe social media warriorism, I believe persuasion and ideas, they all work in unison. That is why the ANC had an armed wing, the Mukuto Wesiziwe, the football club that was headed by Winnie Mandela, as well as having the face, the ANC political party. They had that armed wing as well as this. Because you see people like, Frantz Fanon. Frantz Fanon, for him, he was very radical. He said that colonialism, it needed revolutionary violence. Is the only way that you can get rid of shackles of colonialism, imperialism, as well as dictatorship. I mean, it can also be applied on dictatorships. For us, we don't want revolutionary violence, where you go ahead fighting on the streets. No, that's not right. But that was Fanon's idea. And of course, we can disagree on the modus operandi, but it doesn't mean that it is just one way. It is just one strategy that has to prevail over the other. Techikola. You can use persuasion as well as ideas. It's not wrong. But you cannot undermine the role of social media, because it is the same platform that you are using to express your views. The irony of that, by the way. Yeah, it can be short-term gratification, not bad. But it has achieved a lot than the persuasion and ideas. Let us put it on a weighing scale, guys. Persuasion and ideas on one side, and social media warriorism on the other. What has achieved more? Is it Opio's persuasion and warriorism and ideas? Is it revolutionary social media warriorism and trolling? What has achieved more? And I'm not gratifying Sirimu Kwoleza trolling, because what he calls trolling, it is the idea that people are calling out people like Nicholas Opio because he calls it trolling. But that's not trolling in the real sense that he means trolling. For him, he means when someone disagrees with me, it is trolling. That's what he means. Because he cannot show you like 10 tweets of people abusing him, that Nicholas Opio, you are this, you are that, you this, no, they don't. None. I mean, let us argue things out, okay? Persuasion and ideas. Where have your persuasion of ideas It is the kubanga social media tekola then giveeko. And I know where this is leading. iPod. Jechiragako iPod. Now, guys, I hope he's wrong. I also hope I'm wrong, by the way. And I'm not right. Some things I agree with him, some things I disagree. Politely. But does that mean that Opio's supporters should come and abuse me? Even if they come and abuse me when I've disagreed with him, I wouldn't take it personal because it is not Opio that is abusing me. It is not the party that has come out to say that, Banai, tugende tulumba Opio tuvume. No, it's not nowhere. If Opio has problems with the party, he should address it to the party. But the problem with the idea, with the narrative or the rhetoric of Banvuma, we all know where it leads. Now, how do we address Mr. Opio? How do we handle this situation? One way. Temugezako ne mumuvuma, because that is what he wants. If you have abused the guy, just go and delete the tweet. Do not abuse him. You can challenge him on his ideas. You can challenge him with facts. You can challenge him to show us where Justice Owiny Dore has been abused. We can show him how Owiny Dore has failed to address or to do his job. And those are the things Mr. Opio should be concentrating on, because that is in his line of work. When did Mr. Opio become an expert in trolling? When did Mr. Opio become an expert in social media warriorism? Absolutely not. He's an expert in the rule of law. He's an expert in human rights. And if supposedly he's an expert in those fields, really, should we sit back here and say that the justice system in Uganda does not need fixed in terms of the rule of law and human rights? Okay, Mr. Nicholas Sophia, you're a human rights lawyer. What does the human rights say about freedom of speech and expression? Okay, so you will fight for freedom of speech if, okay, freedom of speech only works if at all, they are not abusing you. But if they are abusing someone else, then you have to come out and fight. But when they're abusing you, you're like, no, doesn't work. Because even that is also ironic, because you cannot say that, last time they were abusing this so and so. And is this the first time they have abused Owiny Doro? Owiny Doro has been abused for a long time. Why? Chapter 4 Bajigadde. We know that. And I'm not abusing him, but I'm trying to sympathize with him because I know what he is going through. Now, the allegations that he's making on the party and our leadership, they are huge, especially targeted towards his following. And the problem that abantu abasinga supposedly abawagira NUP anga tebajiwagira atenga they are the real trolls who are NRM bagenda kulinda batandika okuvuma. So if woba wali NUP tomuvuma musajja, don't abuse him. Don't waste your tweet. Just look at it. Woba tolina kyamaanyi kyakuteekayo mukwate ebifaananyi by'abafranka nabakimuteekeko. Ekyo kijja kukola amakulu mangi. Oba mukwate ezo front pages and Daily Monitor, New Vision, muteekoko. That will go a long way than if you abuse him. Because he wants you to abuse him and to, because for you to mumuvume, and then he can show that look what they did to me. Because if really this guy was abused, there's a screenshotting eraganti no baba no bavuma. That's in a screenshot says. Everyone is just calling him out into his very petty, a tactic, it is they are self-serving. Be self-serving, munene ate human rights lawyer asinga mu Uganda gwe boogera kensi yonna nti gogola inga Nicholas, everyone knows Nicholas Opio. Yeah. Everyone knows Nicholas Opio, right? But still other Nicholas Opios will come. And that is a fact of life. So be humble. If people invite you for such live videos, come, sit down, speak to the diasporans. We would have called so many lawyers in Uganda, so many who are jobless, they don't even have jobs. Most of them are going into human rights because that's where the money is. We would have invited those ones, but people call you, give you a platform. Diasporans, we who are working, we have our own jobs, we sacrifice every Saturday to do a protest. No Ghana. No Ghana could tweet and you're about diasporans? Come on, really? Is that the best you can do? Okay, Kade, free chapter 4. Do you ngoyagala okakasa amaanyi ga NUP oba ga people power? Tutandike free chapter 4 olaba bate bagigule. Tutandike free chapter 4. So Nicholas Opio, we tuba tukuwadde platform, jangu oyogere. Ezo TV ze mubeerako NTV simanyi bikyebe. Tebabiraba. People don't watch. But if Lumbuye gives you a platform, you are assured of 10,000 people watching you. If I give you a platform, I don't know how many people are watching me right now, but there might be like what? Maybe like 150 people watching me. But that is a big number. Because you interact directly. You're talking about persuasion and ideas. Where do you meet a congregation of people to persuade them and give them your ideas? I've seen Nicholas Opio and followed his work for a long time. Simulabanga konga agezeko ekyankwanzi mu lukuŋŋaana mbu atudde he's convincing NRM supporters. Bunange, no, please. Free Bobby Wine, please, guys. You know, human rights, please. Yeah. He's convincing them, please. No Abaku TV. He is with the guest. That's it. There is no interaction. Naye wojja wano abantu abaliko katulika abantu nooza nga kinaana oba nsanvu. These people can ask you questions in real time. You reply in real time. That is what you call persuasion. That is where you throw your ideas. There is no time limit. There is no kugenda kombulango. No. I don't even know why you don't have a YouTube channel. I don't even know why you do not have you don't do Facebook live videos, Q&A and all this kind of stuff. Because the kind of work you do is well suited for social media. Okay, Mukulu Opio, do not abuse Nicholas Opio, guys, whatever you do. Do not abuse him, because that's what he wants. The best thing you can do, ignore his tweets. The other thing you can do, get as many images as possible, and throw those images there. And maybe that will wake his head up. Era nga Norman watero gamba nti tambuza video. Okay. Nina eddakiika. I'll give you guys 1 or 2 minutes. Whoever has something to say. Kube esimu yange mugimanyi. Abalina esimu mukube mubeeko ne kye muteesa. Okay. Bana is I don't usually watch the views. Sorry, anti mbadde manyi ebya Nicholas Opio abantu baagala biraba maybe. So stella nnyo kulaba views bantu bameka babeerako. So embassy money, if I don't know the number, because the saga are guided by numbers when people are watching. Anyway, guys, so if you have something to say, please. I have like 8 minutes for people, and then we can see. But then on the other hand, is a temukubanga muvumo Opio kubanga jabbu salamu. Oyo guy si musiru. Muagazi nnyo wa evidence kye mubamulaba yali akunganya evidence ya Museveni ey'okutta abantu ye yamugazaawo ekibiina kati nammwe aba abaagalako evidence bakitegeera. So aba abaagalako evidence kati bwe mumuwa evidence eyo ebe mukolera temugimuwa, guys, please. So alina kyayagala oteesa. Sobola kuba simu singa no Nicholas Opio kuba ene mbadde mbyogera mu Luganda naye ndowooza nja biddamu mu Luzungu, guys. I will do a video tomorrow Luzungu and then tulabe. Okay, so mwatemu sina yakuba simu kansome ku comments wano. I suggest abantu baseeko torture victims, people who killed in November. Yes guys, you do that, you put torture victims na biki ebikola opio temukubanga muvuma. Hello, network yo gitereze sebo nedda sebo
kiri kityawo
ekyaganye terezaamu. Kale sebo network eyo okay. So Opio is on which side? Tubadde tugenda musabula atuulire naye tumulesebwa ayagala Opio kyayagala ayagala mumuvume kubanga oteekayo post says ezivuma yezi ayagala zimuvume avuge byavuga ndowooza yamanyi. Hello, network yeganye weereza audio. Kale hello yeah. Kale network yange oba yiyo oba zammwe ndowooza simanyi yogera
Hello.
Yes nkuwulira yogera.
Fazil kyembadde ngambye tukyogambye kituufu abantu tulekerawo okuva abantu abamu obudde kati nga Nicola Opio azin mulimu abantu abamu nga tetulina obba ignoringa nga tetubawa nnyo obudde mbu oba mumuvume oba mukole ki okitegeera kubanga n'ekirala nze ekisinga okunyiiza abantu Museveni atta abantu abasajja ba Museveni batta abantu n'abantu bakuliriza nnyo ekivumwe bakuliriza nnyo ensawuti okusinga kati Opio kyagala otugamba amasasi gasinga ebivumo n'ekirala Bobi Wine nga bamuvuma ne Bobi Wine tabaayo n'akaaba opposition evuma Bobi Wine tribes ezimu zivuma Bobi Wine NRM etabangayo n'apostinga nti bamvumye nga nkoze kitakaaba lwaki tebamukoppa kyebagamba bavuma Bobi Wine tebavuma mukazi we tebavuma abaana be besi tebamuvumyako ku mwana we tebamuvumyako mukazi we okitegeera
network mwana network
kale nze kyekyentusaawo Bobi Wine takaaba nabo balekerawo okukaaba buli omu bamuvume ebivumo tebitta
network ndowooza yange wemwe musobola muweereze audio. Nicholas bamugaya alekerawo okubeera cry baby. Nicholas Opio come on obeera cry baby ebivumo nebikaabya cry baby cry lawyer. Hello wangi linda katono erabika network yange ndowooza yeyina obuzibu to nda katono ndabe wano webadde ki yogera tuwulire linda katono kanzijjeko wano yogera awo mpulire.
Mbadde mbuuza nti no twite ey'okubiri wagisomye ng'ovudde ku eyo kubanga ey'okubiri ebadde we bamaze okugamba nti Honorable Ssegirinya ne Ssewanyana bamaze okubazaayo ekigo n'atwitinga ng'agamba President yekka yasobola to let free anyone gwe bakyaginze with criminal offense. Kati nze kinshookinze for the first time guy tali ku side y'abawambe oba y'abali oppressed. Kagamba tweet ey'okubiri eragira ddala nti is for Owiny Dollo and the president.
By the way, sokoleke kansomera abantu naye banaye ono guy naye byaliko sibitegeera. Let not our prejudice lead us into an erroneous judgment. In all criminal cases, a convicted individual can be set free by the president in what is a called prerogative of mercy. I think in what is called a prerogative of mercy. it does not matter what the offense is. People appeal for this all the time and get it. I think ono guy bamutaddeko emmundu kati mbagamba basegirinya bapleading for mercy. Give us a break.
From the president.
Come on.
Yeah, kati chendagala okubuuza.
He should. This guy should plead for mercy for his chapter 4 babenga bagigulawo. Ye lwaki ayingira mu bya criminal cases zaffe. Agende ba pleading. Why don't you plead for mercy for your chapter 4? Gena maaso.
Kati kyembadde njagala okurelatinga to statement Joe the Chief Justice gye yakoze ey'okugamba nti Museveni is the apparent something in the court. Kwegamba yasembayo ayina eddoboozi era decisions zimu abadde azikola. Kati nono najja n'atugamba Massa erina kuva president. Nze nakitegedde ye agamba nti bali ababiri be bali kati ffe tulina okwegayirira. Did you read what Sijje kye yayogedde?
Ono ali mu nsawo za Sijje. Opi ali mu nsawo za Sijje definitely okiraba bulabe.
Naye anti kati mu Sijje Opi yayingidde mu nsawo za Sijje n'amuyingiriza mu underwear za boss.
Anenda alabika wa boss kanatuukayo. Kati what is happening is CJ alabika a middleman between Opio and Museveni. Kati he is making these tweets bamuvumi and all this kind of stuff. Chobola anti twagana dialogue or twagana iPod. Kati he's doing all this kind of stuff so that we can abuse him, so that they can create a case for him to meet Museveni and then have chapter 4 opened and then up and running, I think.
And then when you talked about the iPod ekibiina ekyo kiri financed and kya creating Swedish and other European countries.
Netherlands.
Kati omwami ona bano abantu bakolera kati NUP bwebanega nti tukiyingira definitely abatakyayagala kolagana naffe kubanga tuganya okiyingira regardless our issues. Kati nzaawo for the first time mwewonyeza omwami mbadde muwanya respect naye ekyokutulaga nti ali ku side y'abali ababiri abanyigiriza kyo kimpangudde paka nakati kwe kusooka omulaba nga ali ku side eyo tannayogerako ku kukwata kwa banna simulabangako mulabadde bakwata abantu abadde avaayo n'abaako kyayogera kuba Segirinya atugambye president yalina ekyokuddamu ne documents n'aziteekawo n'azihighlightinga. If you are not ready to bow down to the small god of NRM, kaput. Good night.
Kale, right. Wakamala kuba wano. Hello?
Hello?
Wanji?
Ebale kuweereza muganda wange.
Kale naye webale.
Ebale nakwagala nsi. Olaba ofuye oyo.
Kale tukuwulira.
President yatugamba.
Toyogere ekyabitalina makulu tetubiwa makulu ekyo saagala kiwulira yogere ekirala.
Yogere ekirala.
Kubanga nze nzize wano nga nkiwadde amakulu obusimaze budde bwange saa imu n'ekitundu please. There is a reason as to why tokyogere ekyo kubanga mwana nze kati mba sikiina kye ngenda kwogera. Kubanze ndaba kirina amakulu ngenda okukyogerako kiba kirina amakulu. Kitegeera. Because
engeri y'okuyo gyali mu umbrella ya human rights. Njagala tumuvugira awo ngaye.
Kale.
Kale.
Bana ite munkubiranga munga nti ebitalina makulu tetubiwa amakulu ngenda kujjako. Kuba size wano kumala budde bwange essaawa emu n'ekitundu yino. Nenja nnuma ng'ongamba nti ebitalina makulu. Kuba nze ngenda okujja okwogera ku nsonga mba mmaze ogisengeko okulaba nti this kirimu amakulu. So gwe olina oku understanding anti if these guys are playing this game, there is a reason as to why they are playing it. And how do we counter it? Hello?
Hello, Jeba rekoti chafazi.
Nawe Jeba rekoti nyama.
Kale sebo. Webale nnyo sebo mulamu ogwo gwolese. Munange n'ononso nyiwaze ndi mu engeri y'oluradico. Mwami ono ali mu followinga naye okuva lwe yatimba post eri ya Uganda is breeding nga like ebintu byayogera tebikwatagana. Nalabirawo nti omusajja ono alabika munange atandise okwogera oludikya era ne mwani followinga then ku Twitter handle ye. Naye kati bw'olese post eyo n'engerayo ku gundi eyo gy'ogamba. N'engenda nga ngoberera post z'abadde akola nga ziri
tezikyali ku mulamwa gwe tubadde tumusuubiramu kubeeramu naye ng'ate siraba abantu ngeri gye bamuddamu bino bye tumanyi okuwa abantu level ku Facebook ne tubavuma ng'era abantu bamuddamu gently ng'omuntu gwe bawa ekitiibwa naye mwewuliza ate okuvayo ng'agamba nti NUP bamuvuma bakola kitegedde nakitegeera ekintu ekyo okujjako ng'ayina agenda era nga bw'ogambire ddala nti omuntu yenna buli watandika banvuma NUP banvuma gy'abalaga of course tuba tulabayo abanoonya soft landing agambe mbwe nabavaako kubanga mwali mu nvuma mwali temuli ku mulamwa nenze sirabayo na muntu yenna abadde amuvuma bonna babadde bakomentinga kugundize nga bamugamba gundi nga tewali muntu amuvuma okujjako okumwewuunya nabo bennyininyini era nze nsuubira nti ekintu kino asembye nakyo geemu yo asembye nayo kubanga abantu bonna mubutuufu bamwewuunya si ye muntu gwe badde basuubira okubeera ng'akola bw'atyo ate n'omuntu ali ku level y'oyo omwami kati ali international okubeera nga asobola okuyomba n'abantu abali ku Facebook molovo oba n'abani abamuvuma ku Twitter abantu bavuma ba president abawo ne bavuma abawa ne abawa n'abaawa naye teri muntu ayinza kuvaayo n'atandika okukaba obugundi obuziga bw'entembo banvuma leki kyewuunyisa omwami we baggala ekibiina kye oba omutwe gwaba kitegeerera ddala kintu kye yava ekirala ekirala kino kigenda kulaga abantu bonna pulezidenti waffe kyabadde ng'atugamba buli lwaba afunye akakisa akatugamba nti bannayuganda tuliwo ku lwaffe tulina okimanya tuliwo ku lw'abayivu kubanga abayivu bulijjo babadde nga batulaba nga batutulugunya nga terina omwavayo n'ayogera tetuliwo ku balwa bannaddiini babadde batutulugunya bulyo nga tebavaayo tebatugamba tetuliwo ku bannabyabufuzi bulijjo babadde tubonaabona nga bannabyabufuzi weebali so kino kitegeeza nti bannayuganda tuliwo ku lwaffe bano bannasoma nnyo abo ab'obutayi bantu bazibu nnyo Munnayuganda kati alina okimanya nti tulina kwesiba ku bantu abo tebatuliiko bali ku mbuto zaabwe ensonga endala gye ndeeta era bannange yekusa ku by'amawanga abantu Museveni akakojo ke yaleeta ka divide and rule kati Museveni yeekubidde nnyo ku bantu b'enguno kubanga amaze okulaba eno mu sento tumuzize ne waabwe baamuzira almost mu Uganda yonna bamuzize kati agala okusembeza bali era obalaba nga bavaayo kubanga neewunya juzi era Jene yasembayo okufa Komakeki abantu bwe baavayo ne bakola posts ezaalinga ezicelebratinga ku Facebook abantu bava ne bagamba nti temuyinza kwogera ekirano abantu nga bakomentinga NUP tulina okwewala okukola gundi posts engezo kubanga kijja kuba kitulaga ekifaananyi ekibi biki ku bantu b'engulo era n'abantu b'engulo ne bavamu temusobola kwogerera mwana waffe wemutu nengamba weere minati omwana wamwe tetuganye kali yadde mwana mwe naye abadde akola bino ebikyamu bali bo babadde atta babadde akola kibosi baana b'abantu obanga omuntu yadde kabeere waffe kabeere nga bwakola ekikyamu vayo mugambe nti obadde okola kikyamu abo abagamba temwogera ku mwana waffe temusobola kuserebuletinga ng'omwana waffe bamuse babadde nga balawanga omwana waabwe atatta abaana b'abalala bannayuganda tuveemu ekintu ky'amanga kati olw'okuba bayogedde ku Owinyi-Dollo kati ate ono Opiyo avaayo alinga agamba Owinyi-Dollo ye mu kusoma kw'oyo omwami Opiyo mu kusoma kwe kwasomyemu amateeka kubanga munnamateeka n'experience z'alina mu bintu bino statement gyavuddeyo n'akola ekolwa omuntu ali ku level ya Attorney General kati abantu bavayo ne bamukritisizinga kubanga waggwanga liri kati ekintu bakidrivinga olaba nti bakiza mu narrative y'amawanga kubanga ekyo Museveni kyanoonya divide and rule kati olaba nga narrative bagidrivinga bagiza mu mawanga ffe wano e Buganda kati ne babana bashatte mu mawanga wano e Buganda owaffe omuntu ne bwabeera waffe bw'aba akoze ensobi tugamba okoze ensobi kyova olaba abasinga bavayo ne bakola posts ezaali zinenya Katumba era ezicelebrating nti Katumba baali bamuse naye nga baali Baganda why because Katumba yakola ensobi nga nabo baziraba yadde oli waffe wano tujja kuba tukugamba nti okoze ensobi tetusobola kutiitibya muntu ng'akola ensobi ku bantu abalala kubanga wa ggwanga lyaffe kubanga wa ddiini yaffe kubanga ava mu lijoni yaffe no bannayuganda tulina okuvamu eyo embeera tulina okuvamu ebyo ebintu by'ekisirusiru ebyo kubanga ono wa ggwanga lyaffe Opiyo omanya wano Komakeki batta abantu ne batuuka n'omuyita empologoma y'egundi abo bennyininyini bo bangi tebavaayo ne bagamba nti bannange tokola abantu balabo naye kati ffe tuserebulatinga olw'okuba afudde ate bali bava nti temwogera ku mwana waffe nga badde akola bituufu era bw'aba akola ekituufu era naffe
naye abakulu b'ebika bagamba nti tubasonyiwe ebyasoba
nga tebeetonderanga bantu beyatta ab'ekasese n'abantu beyatta
esi eyatta ow'ekasese mulala
ne bwekibaye baveyo kati nabo kati nga tebanaba kulinda oli affe tuserebulatinge bajje beetondera abantu b'ekasese kubanga era bw'anaafa naye tujja kuserebulatinga yadde muntu waabwe
nga muli bakambwe kale tweyanziza
nedda batujje mu mundo ezitatuyamba n'akatono ekituba kidrivinga bakiza mu mawanga oli bw'anatta abantu kubanga waggwanga gundi tetuwogereko webale nnyo ssebo webalire ddala
kale webale kuteesa bala ebintu bye mbanjogerako munansonyiwa siri mukambwe naye ekintu ekyo banaye kimalamu amaanyi buli wajja wano n'osomesa okumala essaawa emu n'ekitundu omuntu n'agamba nti naye bannaye ebintu ebitalina makulu tetubiwa makulu muganda akakubye essimu okuva South Africa nsonyiwa sikikoze mu bubi naye just mbanga atalina byenjogedde kimalamu amaanyi oluusi oba toyagala nakudda ku line kuba omuntu wajjira munnaayo okukola topiki ekintu aba akiwadde amakulu aba akinyonyerezaako ate nga kitaddemu obudde ki to come and present it so kibaamu amakulu era nange engombo njiina nti kitalina makulu tetukiwa makulu naye ngenda okulaba nti kino kirina amakulu nenkireeta kitegeera naye buli topiki gyendeeta banaye tekirina makulu Hello?
Good evening, Fazil.
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. The topic today has been really interesting.
Okay.
Yeah, but I wanted to say, I think, what's his name?
Opio.
Opio, yeah. I think Opio these people are very smart, yeah? So you see the comment that he's put about pardoning criminals, yeah? The Chief Justice, yeah, Dotty, he already his image is completely tarnished.
True.
Yeah, because of what he done, basically with the case of Bobby. His image is tarnished. His name is on ICC, he's ready to be called in for questioning at some point. Yeah, so his name is completely tarnished. And then he came out and said he made the worst statement ever. He said Museveni is basically he makes the last decisions in courts. That is so tarnishing. Could you imagine ICC, all the international courts actually looking and listening? So his image has been tarnished because of that. And maybe now they've hired Opio to come in and cleanse this image and basically clean out what he said. But he already said it. You know, he already said it. So I don't know. Opio, obviously, he's been bought to come and cleanse the image and that's it. But it's not right. He's a human rights activist and he's actually lying with the devil, and that's so wrong. And it's not going to end well at the end of the day. You can't support someone who sees Ugandan citizens being killed, being murdered, and he still does nothing but supports the person who's actually murdering these people. So all I'm saying is, it's all a game, and these people are playing a game, and they're trying to cleanse the image, but the image is tarnished. As simple as that. Ugandans just go and attack and attack and attack. That's all you can do, attack. Thank you.
Cheers, thank you. Okay, one more caller. Let me call it a day. Okay, what about where is the audio? No? Wonkubira essimu mana yali yaweereza audio nga tayogera WhatsApp. Okay, guys. Okay, one more caller then to Lavi. Hello. Mana wokuba essimu yogera. Hello. Wanji.
Webale emirimu gy'okola.
Kale naawe webale.
Nga nzize ku nsonga ya Opio ngenda gigatta ne address Museveni gye yakola emabegako ng'ovuddeko eno gye yakola ku UN oba ne bw'ogigatta neno article DW Africa gye yafulumizza. wakugenda obitunuulira ebintu ebyo jalaba nti biri mu kukwatagana nti effect ono omusajja gye tumukozeeko international segera kati bano kati bakulaba nti opiya engeri gyawandiiseemu alaga kooti zikola okitegeera alimu kutulaga nti kooti zikola ayagala kudemoralize abantu laga nti whatever we are doing terina effect oba oli mukulaba embeera yeriwo nti kyoyina okumanya n'omusajja bw'akwata abo abantu abanene bwe batyo n'abatwala tabateeka mu makomera nga kwe tuba tusuubira olwezi batuula ne banegosotinga kitegeera ekatuka omuntu omuyivu era omuntu ensi gwemanyi tayinza kugaayo n'asala ddiiro nga bano tomusuubira sala ddiiro nga bano baani bayisima baani abo oba bafulufida no akikola in a systematic way kitegeera abalwanisa naye abalwanisiza munda nti kati olwedde ffe tukimanyi naye international bamumanyi nga human rights lawyer okitegeera
kale tweyanziza
bulaba bamukubye bagamba beyongera omukube bukubi oyo talina makulu
omusajja nga yatulwanirira banaye kambasabe nkome wano kuba naye njabise tutandikireewo enkya 1 hour and 40 minutes kale tusule bulungi bye waliwo abangamba juzawo nti engeri gye mmalamu si nnungi mmala bubi naye nja kutereezaamu engeri gye mmalamu episodes naye mu nsonyiwemu kuba nina okugenda okusaala so tuwuliziganye tomorrow ndowooza inshallah kale bye salamu alaikum